Father Andrew Foreshew-Cain has spent the last 27 years working as a priest, but he says he's now being refused a move to a new congregation by the Church of England because he's in a same-sex marriage.
Yes, he believes he is the victim of institutional homophobia because the Church won't give him a new job if he leaves London to move to Manchester to be with his husband. Andrew joins us now alongside SUSIE LEAFE, who is from the Reform Network, who's against gay priests marrying. Very good morning to you both. Father Foreshew-Cain, you were the first Church of England vicar in a same-sex marriage.
That's right, we married in June 2014.
You are within an institution that will marry gay people but will not allow...
No, the Church of England refuses to recognise and celebrate lesbian and gay relationships at all.
So there is...
There's an
no
absolute
acceptance of it within the Church.
There's a grudging, if you must, for lay people.
Yes.
And there's an attempt to forbid clergy from marrying.
So you have, as a result, been told that you cannot have another position.
Yes, that's right. So when I married, I got a letter from my bishop telling me I was being issued what they called an informal rebuke. And my name was then put on a list of sort of bad boys and girls held by the Bishop of Norwich. And the bishops had said previously that anyone who entered into a same-sex marriage would not be eligible for selection to be a priest or indeed to be given a job as a priest.
But that, presumably, if the Church of England does not recognise gay marriage, that can't have come as much of a surprise to you.
Yes and no. I got engaged on Valentine's Day in 2014, and it was the next day that the bishops published a document in which they spelt this out. So I got engaged and told all my friends we were engaged, and then the
Would
bishops...
you not have got engaged had that been published the day before?
No, we'd have got engaged.
You'd have done it regardless?
Well, I don't like being bullied, and I have a legal right to marry, and the bishops can tell people what to do, but they can't... No, they can't force us not to do what is our legal right.
I think, Susie, one of the difficulties is that people from the outside will say that we understand that Christian values are about acceptance and love and not judging others. And here is somebody within the Christian faith, a very important member of that Christian faith, having all those things done to him.
I would disagree. I mean, I don't think that... well, first of all, I don't think that the Church is an institution, so how it can be an institutional homophobia. I don't like to think of a church. Church is a body of Christians gathered together around God's word. We seek to follow it. It's not about a massive institutional framework. So I think that there's a difficulty there.
That's semantics, because I think that there'll be lots of people who'll be looking at it saying, well, you can choose to look at it as a framework or a body, but whether it is that or an institution, the point is he's being judged, he's being stopped from doing
I think what's happening here is that Andrew agreed when he became a vicar, he agreed to certain things. He freely gave himself to the Church in a particular
Can I just establish, sorry, can I just establish, is your issue with gay marriage or is your issue with homosexuality?
I don't have an issue with gay marriage or with homosexuality.
But this is an issue, isn't it?
Well, I hate to think you were an issue, Andrew.
Well, the Church of England treats gay people as an issue.
What is the issue here at stake, then?
So, as Christians, we are called to follow what the Bible teaches. And the Bible teaches that marriage is for one man, one woman, for life, forever. And that's the place for sex.
So do you see homosexuality as a sin?
Oh, that's the question of the moment, isn't it?
Well, it's the question that Tim Farron, the leader of the...
That's right, absolutely. And I think the question would be what do you mean by a sin? If there are things that are sinful...
Sounds like you're just trying to avoid the question.
No, I'm not trying to avoid the question.
Go on then, answer.
I would say that the Bible teaches that homosexuality, active homosexual practice, is not glorifying to God. And anything that is not glorifying to God, the Bible teaches, is called sin.
So you believe it's a sin, then?
So I think that active homosexual activity, just as I would say that active heterosexual activity outside of marriage, doesn't glorify God.
So it's worth saying at this point, of course, the Bible knows nothing of homosexuality in the sense in which we know it today. The Bible, in 7 verses, some of which are disputed about whether it's actually about this issue, talks about sex between two men. And it was framed at a time when our modern understanding of what it is to be a human being and gender and sexuality was very different from our contemporary
What are
understanding.
you going to do now? Are you, are you leaving the church?
No, I'm an Anglican, I'm a Christian, I will carry on worshipping. I'm moving to Manchester, my husband has a job in Manchester. We've bought a lovely house, I'm going to do up the house and continue going to church, but I'm going to retire.
You feel forced out?
I don't think this is just about me and my issues with the church. I'm in a very fortunate position that I don't have to work. It's about the way the church treats all lesbian and gay people.